What if the reason you're not attracting money isn't bad luck, lack of skill, or the economy, but invisible energy blocks buried deep in your mind? These hidden patterns are quietly sabotaging your finances, your confidence, and your ability to receive. In this video, I'm going to expose the 8 most dangerous money blocks that secretly control 99% of people and show you how to break free. Stay until the end, because the final block is the one even the most spiritual people overlook, and it could be draining thousands from your life right now. Money isn't just paper or numbers on a screen, it's energy in motion. Think about it. When you're excited about an opportunity, money flows toward it. When you're stressed about bills, money seems to disappear faster. This isn't coincidence. It's the universal law of energy attraction. But here's what most people don't understand. Your relationship with money was programmed long before you ever earned your first dollar. These programs run silently in the background, like invisible software controlling your financial reality. Every thought you think about money, every emotion you feel when you see your bank balance, every action you take or don't take, it's all being influenced by these hidden energy blocks. They're like invisible chains around your financial potential, and most people live their entire lives never realizing they're there. The wealthy understand something that the struggling masses don't. Money follows energy, not effort. You can work yourself to exhaustion, but if your energy is blocked, money will continue to slip through your fingers like water through a sieve. Today, we're going to identify these blocks and shatter them forever. Block number 1, the poverty consciousness. The first energy block is what I call poverty consciousness. This is when your mind secretly believes that having money makes you greedy, selfish, or somehow less spiritual. This programming runs so deep that it feels like moral truth, but it's actually a prison of limitation. Let me paint you a picture. Sarah grew up in a household where money was the root of all arguments. Her parents fought about bills, called rich people greedy, and praised those who struggled as humble and pure. She heard phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "We can't afford that," and "Rich people are selfish," thousands of times before she turned 18. Now, as an adult professional, every time Sarah is about to make a big sale or ask for a raise, she feels a crushing weight of guilt. Her subconscious mind literally sabotages her success to keep her humble. She'll forget important details during presentations, undersell her achievements, or even talk clients out of higher-priced services because deep down, she believes that wanting money makes her a bad person. This isn't just Sarah's story, it's the story of millions. Poverty consciousness disguises itself as virtue, whispering that struggle equals nobility, that financial lack proves your spiritual worth. But here's the truth that will set you free. Money is simply a tool. A hammer isn't evil. It depends on what you build with it. When good people have money, they build hospitals, fund scholarships, support charities, and create opportunities for others. The most generous, kind-hearted people I know are also financially abundant. Why? Because they understand that you can't give what you don't have. You can't fund your dreams from an empty bank account. You can't help others from a place of financial desperation. Block number 2, the scarcity prison. The second block is scarcity thinking, and it's perhaps the most widespread financial disease of our time. This is the belief that there's only so much wealth to go around. So if someone else has more, there's automatically less for you. It's like believing that if your neighbor lights a candle, somehow your room becomes darker. Marcus, a talented graphic designer I mentored, spent years undercharging for his work because he thought, "Who am I to charge premium prices when so many people are struggling?" He was living in scarcity prison, where his own success felt like theft from others. He'd see successful designers charging thousands for projects and feel angry, resentful, convinced they were somehow stealing opportunities that should be his. This scarcity mindset kept Marcus trapped in a cycle of under-earning and overworking. He'd take on projects for bargain prices, work endless hours, and still struggle to pay his bills. Meanwhile, he watched less talented designers charge premium rates and live abundantly, which only reinforced his belief that the world was unfair. But abundance works on completely different principles. When you prosper, you create ripples of prosperity around you. You hire assistants, you buy from other businesses, You invest in your community, you tip generously, you support causes you care about. Your wealth becomes a rising tide that lifts all boats. Consider this. When Apple became successful, they didn't take money away from other companies. They created entirely new markets, employed millions of people, and spawned thousands of supporting businesses. The universe operates on principles of expansion, not limitation. There's enough for everyone, but only if you believe it. The wealthy understand that money isn't a pie with limited slices. It's more like a garden where planting one successful seed can yield countless fruits. Every dollar you earn ethically is a dollar that didn't exist in circulation before your value creation brought it into being. Block number 3, the unworthiness shadow. The third block cuts the deepest because it attacks your very sense of self, unworthiness. This insidious voice whispers, you don't deserve wealth. Look at your mistakes, your flaws, your failures. Who are you to live abundantly when others struggle? Remember that time you messed up? Remember those poor choices? You should be grateful for scraps. I once knew a brilliant entrepreneur named David who built $1 million business from nothing. He had the Midas touch. Everything he invested in turned to gold. But then something strange started happening. He'd make crucial mistakes at the worst possible moments, pick unnecessary fights with important clients, make impulsive decisions that cost him everything, or simply walk away from profitable opportunities for no logical reason. Within 2 years, David had lost everything. Not once, but 3 times. Each time he built success, he'd unconsciously destroy it through self-sabotage. Why? Because deep down, beneath all his confidence and business acumen, he didn't believe he deserved to be wealthy. His father had abandoned the family when David was young, leaving him with a core belief that he wasn't worthy of good things staying in his life. Unworthiness is a master of disguise. It wears the mask of humility, convincing you that struggle equals virtue, that suffering proves your character. It tells you that wanting more is selfish, that you should be grateful for whatever crumbs life throws your way. But this is a lie that keeps you small and the world poorer for your diminished light. Here's what I need you to understand. Your worthiness isn't something you earn through perfect behavior or flawless choices. You were born worthy. Your worthiness isn't determined by your past mistakes, your current circumstances, or other people's opinions. It's an inherent part of your being, as fundamental as your heartbeat. Every person who has ever achieved great wealth had to first overcome the unworthiness programming that society installs in us from birth. They had to look in the mirror and declare, I deserve abundance. I deserve success. I deserve to live fully. Block number 4, the control obsession. The fourth block is the need to control exactly how money comes to you. And it's like trying to direct the flow of a river with your bare hands. You pray for abundance, then tell the universe exactly how it should arrive. Through your current job, your existing skills, your predictable routine, your comfort zone. Lisa desperately wanted financial freedom. She had vision boards, she did affirmations, she even hired coaches. But when opportunities arose that required her to step outside her familiar patterns, she'd find excuses to avoid them. A friend offered her a partnership in a promising venture. Too risky. A mentor suggested she start speaking at events to build her brand. Too scary. A client wanted to pay her double to work on a new type of project. Too unfamiliar. Lisa wanted money to flow, but only through the narrow channel she deemed safe. She was like someone ordering rain, but only allowing it to fall on Tuesdays between 2 and 3 p.m. Meanwhile, she watched others around her prosper by saying yes to opportunities she'd rejected, by being willing to learn new skills, by embracing uncertainty as the price of growth. Money is infinitely creative. It flows through unexpected opportunities, surprising connections, and paths you never imagined. It comes through the person you meet in an elevator, the book that falls off a shelf in front of you, the mistake that turns into your biggest breakthrough. But it can only reach you if you're open to receive it in forms you didn't anticipate. The wealthy understand that money has its own intelligence. They plant seeds of value, then trust the universe to handle the harvest. They say yes first and figure out how later. They understand that every master was once a beginner, every pro was once an amateur, every success story started with someone willing to try something new. When you release control and stay open to infinite possibilities, money finds ways to reach you that will absolutely amaze you. But first, you have to stop trying to micromanage the universe and start trusting in the process of abundance. Block number 5, the fear of change. The fifth block is one of the most paralyzing, the fear of how money will change you. This block whispers, what if success changes who I am? What if my friends resent me? What if I become someone I don't recognize? What if I turn into one of those people I used to criticize? This fear keeps brilliant, capable people playing small. They dim their light to make others comfortable, choose familiar struggle over unfamiliar abundance. I've watched talented individuals sabotage promotions, turn down lucrative opportunities, and stay in jobs that undervalue them, all because they're terrified that success will somehow corrupt their soul. Jennifer was a social worker with an incredible gift for helping people transform their lives. She could have easily transitioned into private coaching and earned 10 times her nonprofit salary, but she was terrified that making money from helping people would somehow taint her mission. She believed that real helpers should struggle financially to prove their dedication. This fear cost Jennifer years of struggle and limited her impact. While she was helping dozens of people in her underfunded position, she could have been helping thousands with the resources and reach that financial abundance provides. Her fear of change kept her small and kept her gifts from reaching their full potential. Here's what I've learned after studying hundreds of successful people. Money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies who you already are. If you're kind and generous now, you'll be kind and generous with money. If you're thoughtful and caring now, wealth will give you more ways to express those qualities. Money is like a magnifying glass. It makes everything bigger, including your character. The people who truly care about you will celebrate your success because they want you to thrive. Those who resent your prosperity were never really your people anyway. Your job isn't to stay small to make others comfortable. It's to shine so brightly that you give others permission to do the same. Block number 6, the perfectionism trap. The 6th block is perfectionism, and it's procrastination wearing a 3-piece suit. This is the voice that says, I'll start that business when I know everything. I'll ask for that raise when I'm indispensable. I'll invest when the market is perfect. I'll launch when my product is flawless. Perfectionism convinces you that you're being responsible when you're actually being afraid. It masquerades as high standards while actually being a sophisticated form of self-sabotage. The perfectionist spends years preparing for a moment that never feels quite right, watching opportunities pass by while waiting for the perfect conditions that don't exist. Michael spent 3 years researching before starting his consulting business. He read every book, took every course, studied every successful consultant he could find. He had spreadsheets full of market analysis, detailed business plans, and strategies for every possible scenario. But he never made his first sale because his website wasn't perfect, his branding wasn't complete, his elevator pitch wasn't polished enough. Meanwhile, his friend Tom launched a similar consulting business with a simple one-page website and learned everything by doing. While Michael was still perfecting his plans, Tom was making money, gaining experience, and building relationships with real clients. Within 2 years, Tom's imperfect business was generating 6 figures, while Michael was still waiting for the perfect moment to begin. The truth is, perfectionism is impossible because perfection is subjective. What's perfect to you might be inadequate to someone else, and what's perfect today might be outdated tomorrow. The market doesn't reward perfection, it rewards value. Clients don't buy perfect solutions, they buy solutions to their problems. Look at every successful person you admire. They didn't wait until they were perfect. They started before they were ready and figured it out along the way. Steve Jobs launched the first Apple computer from a garage. Oprah started her career making mistakes on local television. Every master was once a disaster. The bridge to your dreams is built by walking, not by planning the perfect bridge. Every step you take teaches you something that no amount of preparation could provide. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. Block number 7, the victim identity. The 7th block is the most dangerous because it feels so righteous and justified. Victim identity. This is when you blame your circumstances, your past, your family, your education, your economy, your government, your boss, or your industry for your financial situation. Now, let me be clear, some people face real challenges and systemic obstacles. I'm not dismissing legitimate hardships or pretending that everyone starts from the same place. But victim thinking is toxic because it makes you powerless. When you're the victim, you're also helpless. When you take responsibility, you reclaim your power to change your situation. Robert grew up in poverty, had an absent father, struggled in school, and faced discrimination in his early career. He had every reason to play the victim card, and many people would have understood and sympathized. Instead, Robert decided that his past would be his motivation, not his excuse. He read every book he could find on success, networked relentlessly despite his social anxiety, and worked twice as hard as his privileged colleagues. Today, Robert owns multiple businesses and has created jobs for hundreds of people in his community. He didn't overcome his challenges by denying them. He overcame them by refusing to let them define his future. He understood that while he couldn't control what happened to him, he could control what he did about it. Every self-made millionaire has a story of overcoming obstacles that would stop most people. They faced rejection, failure, criticism, and setbacks. What made them different wasn't their circumstances. It was their response to their circumstances. They didn't have perfect situations. They made powerful choices. Your past doesn't determine your future unless you let it. Your current situation is not your final destination unless you decide it is. The same challenges that crush some people become the foundation for others' greatest triumphs. Block number 8, the comparison trap. Here's an 8th block that's becoming more dangerous in our social media age, the comparison trap. This is when you measure your financial success against others and always find yourself lacking. You see someone else's highlight reel and compare it to your behind-the-scenes struggle. Social media has made this worse than ever. You see friends posting about vacations you can't afford, colleagues getting promotions you wanted, entrepreneurs celebrating milestones you're still dreaming about. Instead of inspiration, you feel inadequacy. Instead of motivation, you feel defeat. Amanda spent hours every day scrolling through Instagram, looking at influencers living lives she envied. She'd see their designer clothes, luxury cars, and exotic trips, then look at her own modest lifestyle and feel like a failure. This comparison poisoned her motivation and convinced her that success was for other people. People who were luckier, more talented, or better connected. What Amanda didn't see were the years of struggle behind those perfect posts, the failures that preceded the successes, the hard work that happened off camera. She was comparing her chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, her beginning to their middle, her reality to their carefully curated image. Comparison is the thief of joy and the enemy of progress. Your journey is unique, your timeline is your own, and your definition of success should be personal. The person you were yesterday is your only relevant competition. The progress you've made, however small, is what matters. The shocking truth about energy blocks. Here's the shocking truth I promised, and it might be the most important thing you hear today. These blocks aren't your fault, but they are your responsibility. You inherited most of them from your family, your culture, your past experiences, your social conditioning. A 5-year-old child absorbs beliefs about money like a sponge absorbs water without any filter or conscious choice. But here's the empowering flip side. If these blocks were programmed, they can be reprogrammed. Your financial thermostat can be reset. Your money story can be rewritten. The same mind that created these limitations has the power to dissolve them. Most people live their entire lives running on financial software installed in childhood by well-meaning but financially struggling adults. They never question these programs, never examine these beliefs, never realize they have the power to change them. They accept their financial limitations as unchangeable reality instead of recognizing them as changeable programming. The wealthy know something that others don't. Your external financial reality is always a perfect reflection of your internal financial programming. Change the inner game, and the outer game must follow. This isn't wishful thinking. It's how consciousness works. The path forward isn't complicated, but it requires courage and consistency. First, you must acknowledge that these blocks exist within you. You can't heal what you won't feel, and you can't change what you won't acknowledge. Be honest about which blocks resonated most strongly with you. Second, challenge every limiting belief about money that enters your consciousness. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Does this belief serve my highest good? Would I teach this idea to a child I love? If the answer is no, then it's time to release that belief and choose a more empowering one. Third, take inspired action despite your fears. Every time you act in alignment with abundance rather than scarcity, you weaken these blocks. Every time you choose growth over comfort, possibility over certainty, you reprogram your financial operating system. Remember, you're not trying to become someone new. You're remembering who you truly are. You're a being of infinite worth living in an abundant universe. Money flowing to you isn't taking from others. It's you finally allowing your natural prosperity to emerge. The universe is ready to support your success. The question isn't whether you deserve abundance, you do. The question is whether you're ready to release the blocks that have been keeping it away. Your wealthy future is waiting for you to claim it. If this message resonated with you, you're ready for transformation. Hit that like button to affirm your commitment to abundance. Subscribe and ring the bell because I share money mindset breakthroughs like this every week. And here's my challenge. In the comments below, write, "I am worthy of abundance," not for me, but to declare it to the universe. Share which block hit you the hardest, because your vulnerability might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to break free. Your wealthy future is waiting for you to claim it. The only question is, are you ready to let it in?